Ailse O Fussers, in memory of Mary Alice Hartley, the last of the line-gow drivers. When the skyline was cluttered with chimneys from mills that rose up like turrets amongst the old hills, by mighty Brown Wardle, winds fierce and winds calm, there lived Mary Alice of Pot Oven Farm. Born in the year of 1803 to a Lancashire family roots deep as a tree, with brothers and sisters, a hard-working band, a lime-gow she was in this harsh barren land. Her 20 stout Galloways hitched in a line, they carted the burdens from coal through to lime. Regardless of weather, for mile upon mile, she soldiered through valleys with a wink and a smile. She'd hum as she led them, and rough was her song, echoed on track where those hard days were long. Ballads that sighed through the grit and the gloom, tunes lost to peat bog and vast heather bloom. The gals were her treasures, her art and her pride, and a donkey named Jerry always by her side. Each night he'd be tethered, asleep near her head, dreaming contently, pampered and well fed. Alone at her farm, the hearth ever warm, she braved out the rainstorms in locals' quiet scorn. For she looked not like others in the tales that are told, her beauty was spirit and courage so bold. Stocky in stature, in an odd-looking hat, the folk called her Fussers, and rightly at that. Never quite dainty, nor tender, nor sweet, with knuckles like walnuts and broad heavy feet. Her shoulders grew square as the old barn-bite mill, that voice when it deepened could make the night still. She wore what she liked, never silk, never lace, and a handkerchief tied round her lantern-jawed face. Her brow thick and furrowed cast shadows below, and her gaze held the hush of a sky before snow. A man's oilskin coat draped over her form, with parts of it trailing all tattered and worn. An old bright red petticoat patched up and in bits, she heeded their whispers and ignored their skits. At Yorkshire Street Market they'd stare, laugh and grin, but none dared to cross her or question her kin. For Fussers could silence a room with a glance, and shut someone's cake over if they fancied the chance. No suitors came knocking, no letters arrived, yet somehow through all of it, Fussers still thrived. Indeed she was shunned, the men far from kind, but against all the odds secret love she did find. Young Thomas Walton from Hurstead Nook Farm won over old Ailse with his wit and his charm. In April came Reuben, a boy soft and fair, born of their tryst in the Lancashire air. But joy turned to sorrow as death rang its knell, the child slipped away like a ghost on the fell. Mary, heartbroken, in silence and pain, carried his coffin through cold Whitworth rain. No cart and no pony, just her and her load. She walked with her son down that sodden farm road. She buried him close where the skylarks still call, beneath St. Bartholomew's spire so tall. A grave that was simple, no name carved in stone. Poor Mary now lingered, bereft and alone. Years rolled like the gals that she no longer drove, her health left behind her, her strength soon outwove. Infirm and unable to stay at her farm, they whisked Ailse to Durnley to keep her from harm. In the cold Union workhouse feeble she did lie, forgotten and forlorn, by moonlight she'd cry. She lay in the hush with the dark drawing in, her mind wandering back to the places she'd been. The things that she'd loved, or just shadows and air, she whispered goodbye like a soft-spoken prayer. Mary, last lime-gow, took life's final ride. The hills now were silent where once she would stride. The ponies just memories, the path long and cold. Her story had ended, a legend was told. Now at Whitworth Cemetery, quiet and still, she rests within sight of Pot Oven on hill. And yet when the moor mist begins to arise, a hoofbeat is heard neath these low weeping skies. Remembered, revered, the lime-gow called Mary, with her Reuben and Jerry in heaven's lush prairie. Though poor was her end, and rough was her start, she carried the Pennines in her iron-bound heart.